Assalamu alaikum. This is Shahrukh Mujumdar welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Khaleda Zia's treatment based on advice of Medical Board of local and foreign doctors underway. ICT orders submission of investigation report against 41, including Obaidul Qadir, in crimes against humanity case by February 9th. Jamaat-e-Islami demands deployment of BGB and army for security of polling stations. Government takes all preparations for holding next polls in free, fair and impartial environment, says Home Advisor. Kremlin praises new national security strategy by US President Trump, saying it aligns closely with Russia's own view. And Australia beat England by 8 wickets in second test of 5-match series in Brisbane. Those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. BNP chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia's physical condition remains unchanged. Meanwhile, the executive director of Hazrat Shahjalan International Airport, Group Captain SM Raghib Samad, has said the air ambulance rented for Begum Zia from the Germany-based FAI Aviation Group will land in Dhaka tomorrow morning. However, even though permission has been granted for the air ambulance to arrive, whether Khaleda Zia will be able to travel to London depends entirely on her physical condition. Her personal physician, Dr. A.Z.M. Jahid Hussain, has also said no decision can be made without an assessment by the medical team. A source involved in decisions regarding her treatment and potential travel abroad said, after monitoring her condition, doctors have decided to delay the possible travel date by another 2 days, as the risks of a long journey are still significant. A source close to the medical board formed for Khaleda Zia's treatment said 4 of her vital organs, diabetes-related complications, kidneys, heart and lungs, are fluctuating. Because of this uncertainty, the possible date for taking her abroad has been repeatedly changed. The BNP initially said December 5th, then December 7th, and later announced December 9th as the next tentative date. However, the final decision now depends entirely on the doctor's latest evaluation. The International Crimes Tribunal 1 has directed the prosecution to submit the investigation report by 9th February in the crimes against humanity case filed against Obaidul Qadir, several former ministers and state ministers, and a total of 41 accused over the killings committed during the July mass uprising. Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tazul Islam disclosed this information today while briefing reporters at the tribunal. 17 individuals, including former ministers and state ministers of the ousted Awami League government, have been produced before the tribunal in the case filed over crimes against humanity committed during the killings in the July uprising. They were produced today before the 3-member tribunal, one headed by Justice Ghulam Murtuja Mujumdar. The accused include former ministers Anisul Haq, Dr. Deepu Moni, Ghulam Dostagir Gaji, Amir Hussain Amu, Farooq Khan, Kamal Ahmed Mujumdar, Kamrul Islam, Abdur Razak, Shahjahan Khan, Rashid Khan Menon, Hassanul Haq Inu, Junaid Ahmed Palok, former MP, Sulaiman Salim, former Justice A.H.M. Samsuddin Chaudhry Manik, former Home Secretary Jahangir Alam, and advisors to the ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Tawfiqi Elahi Chaudhry and Salman F. Rahman. The prosecution has submitted separate formal charges against Salman F. Rahman, Anisul Haq and Junaid Ahmed Palok. Meanwhile, witness testimony is ongoing in the case against Hassanul Haq Inu. Earlier, on 15th October, in a separate case, the tribunal had instructed that the investigation report against Obaidul Qadir and 45 others be submitted by today after completing the probe. During the briefing, Chief Prosecutor Tazul Islam said the prosecution will soon receive the investigation report concerning crimes against humanity involving the killings committed during the July uprising in a case against Obaidul Qadir and 6 others. Meanwhile, in another case linked to the July uprising, the first day of the witness testimony in Canberra trial against Mahbubul Alam Hanif and 3 others accused of crimes against humanity for the killing of 6 people in Kushtia began today at the International Crimes Tribunal 2, headed by Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhuri. Advocate Fazlur Rahman has been exempted from the contempt of court charge by International Crimes Tribunal 1 after he offered an unconditional apology. The 3-member Tribunal 1, led by Justice Ghulam Murtuza Majumdar, granted the exemption today after Advocate Fazlur Rahman appeared before the court in person and sought an unconditional apology. Earlier on November 23rd, after he made derogatory remarks about the tribunal and its judicial process on a private television channel, the tribunal ordered Fazlur Rahman to appear in person today and provide an explanation. Later, while briefing journalists, Advocate Fazlur Rahman's lawyer said he offered an unconditional apology out of respect for the court. Chief Prosecutor Mohammad Tazul Islam said during the briefing that everyone should be cautious when making comments about the court. Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami Secretary-General Mia Ghulam Parwar said the nation is waiting for a free, fair and impartial election. Therefore, Border Guard Bangladesh (BGB) and the army must be deployed to ensure security at polling centers for a proper election. He made the remarks today after a meeting with Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin at the Election Commission headquarters at Agargaon in the capital today. A 6-member delegation led by Mia Ghulam Parwar participated in the meeting with the Election Commission regarding the 13th National Parliamentary election and the referendum. Alongside the Chief Election Commissioner, other election commissioners were also present at the meeting. Mia Ghulam Parwar further said they have also demanded the installation of CCTV cameras at polling centers and the recovery of illegal weapons. Home Advisor retired Lieutenant General Muhammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhuri said the government has taken all necessary preparations to ensure that the upcoming parliamentary election is held in a free, fair, neutral and festive manner. He made the remarks today while talking to reporters after a meeting of the Law and Order Advisory Council Committee at the Secretariat. Chief Advisor's Special Assistant Mohammad Khodabox Chaudhuri, Senior Secretary Nasimul Goni and heads of various law enforcement agencies were present at the meeting. The Home Advisor said an adequate number of law enforcement personnel will be deployed to maintain law and order during the election. On-duty police officers will be equipped with body-worn cameras and all necessary members of law enforcement will be on the ground, he added. Jahangir Alam has also said instructions have been issued to ensure uninterrupted electricity supply at every polling center. BNP has launched a 6-day special political program titled Desh Gorar Porikalpona, focusing on the country's future development and the development of democracy. On the second day of discussions, top BNP leaders emphasized that the people are ultimate force in safeguarding democracy. BNP Standing Committee member Salahuddin Ahmed inaugurated the day's program today at the Krishibid Institution, Bangladesh, in the capital's Farmgate area. He said the country is walking the path of democracy. Whoever tries to disrupt the democratic process will be resisted by Bangladeshi people. He called for transforming the BNP into a knowledge-based, merit-driven and technology-oriented political party. Salahuddin also said ensuring the rights and freedom of farmers remains one of the BNP's core commitments. BNP Senior Joint Secretary General Advocate Ruhul Kabir Rizvi presided over, while senior BNP leaders and activists of Chhatrodol from different parts of the country attended the program. Chattogram city is grappling with a severe and escalating lack of discipline in traffic movement and road usage, affecting main thoroughfares and narrow alleys alike. Daily commuters face a barrage of issues, including haphazard pedestrian crossing, indiscriminate parking, and chaotic passenger pickup and drop-off points. The disarray is particularly acute during peak hours, causing significant headaches for those traveling to offices and educational institutions. The city's roads are marred by a pervasive mess of development and construction projects, coupled with widespread mismanagement regarding road users and vehicular traffic. The combination has led to a profound lack of order in crossing the streets. Road users and pedestrians are calling for immediate action, urging authorities to install adequate foot overbridges and strictly enforce traffic discipline among vehicles. In response to the growing public demands, Chattogram City Corporation are taking steps to alleviate the suffering of pedestrians, and that the construction of foot overbridges is currently underway in the city. City dwellers believe that achieving a well-organized and planned urban life requires not only public awareness, but also a more realistic and practical approach to development activities. Now, international news. The Kremlin has praised a new national security strategy adopted by US President Donald Trump, saying it aligns closely with Russia's own view of global affairs. The US document published last week warns that Europe faces what it calls civilizational erasure, identifies ending the war in Ukraine as a core US interest, and signals a shift towards restoring what Washington describes as strategic stability with Moscow. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said on Sunday that the changes correspond in many ways to their vision. He also welcomed language in the strategy about ending the perception of the NATO military alliance as a perpetually expanding alliance. Moscow has long opposed NATO enlargement, citing its security concerns, but Peskov cautioned that the position of what he called the U.S. deep state, a term the U.S. president has used to accuse officials who he believes are undermining his agenda, may differ from Trump's new security strategy. As Israel and Hamas prepare to move towards phase 2 of a United States-led blueprint to end Israel's genocidal war on Gaza, disagreements loom over the as-yet undefined role of an international stabilization force in the besieged Palestinian enclave. Senior Hamas official Bassem Naim said on Sunday that the U.S. draft required a lot of clarifications. While the group was ready to discuss freezing or stirring weapons during the ongoing truce, he said it would not accept that an international stabilization force take charge of disarmament. Hamas is welcoming a United Nations force to be near the borders, supervising the ceasefire agreement, reporting about violations, preventing any kind of escalations, he said, adding that Hamas would not accept the force having any kind of mandates on Palestinian territory. The Hamas official said the group retained its right to resist, adding that laying down arms could happen as part of a process leading to a Palestinian state with a potential long-term truce lasting 5 to 10 years. Sri Lankan authorities have issued new landslide warnings, with rains lashing areas already devastated by a powerful cyclone, as the death toll rose to 618, while other parts of Asia continue to grapple with the scale of the destruction and mounting casualties that have exceeded 1,800. The Disaster Management Center DMC warned on Sunday that monsoon storms were adding more rain and making hillsides unstable, including the central mountainous region and the northwestern Midlands. More than 2 million people, nearly 10% of the population, have been affected by last week's climate crisis, spurred floods and landslides triggered by Cyclone Dithwa, the worst on the island this century. On Sunday, helicopters and planes were being used to supply communities cut off by landslides in the center of the country.